Happy Sunday guys, how are you doing? Happy Sunday everyone. Thank you guys for joining. Is it the region? Oh, I have to. Is it the region or state government? Thank you guys. There goes our topic between a region and a state. Which organ has done well to enhance social equity in your society? Thank you guys for joining. Yeah, today we have a very interesting topic, between the region and the state, which organ has done well to enhance social humanity in your society. Which one has done well. Thank you guys. Let me know between the region and society. Let me know which has really offered what we might say which one has done better. Is it the region or Corinne? Bonjour, long time no see. Corinne, how are you doing? Yes.
Bring my keys.
Your keys are here. Next time. Long time no see. Long time no see. Wow, thank you guys for joining. This is French, then you convert to English. Corinne, Jevers Travel. Thank you guys for joining. Thank Thank you for joining, everyone. I read it work. Thank you guys. Thank you. Welcome, everyone. Let me know your today's thoughts. Yeah. Today we have a very interesting topic. Let me just pin it. Wow, let me just pin it. We are asking between the region and between the region. Thank you guys for the likes, a lot of love. Karen, how are you doing today? How are you doing today? I'm fine. What about you? What about you? How are you doing? Doing fantastic well. Doing fantastic well. I'm doing fine, Karen. I'm doing fine. Thank you. Why do you observe your religion so much? Because it emphasizes on daily devotion. Yeah. There are others, it marks the weekend. Everyone is doing fine, Karen. Everyone is doing fine. Just trying to move on with the rhythm. Just trying to move on with the rhythm. How is our new kid in the block? How is our new kid in the block? How is she going on? How is she doing? Wow, that's so great. That's so great if she is doing fine. Wow, that's so amazing. That's so amazing. That's so amazing. It's just a blessing, to have that kid. But I know now, at least you are here, you are there, you are here, you are there. Thank you guys. Thank you for joining. I know it's a lot of work. looking after young kids. It's a lot of work. Thank you guys for joining. Wow. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for joining with a lot of love. If this is your first time, guys, kindly consider subscribing. Happy weekend, happy Saturday, guys. You can support the live by subscribing. You can also support the live by engaging us one-on-one through the question that we are having today. Very fundamental question. Between the states and your region, which one do you believe it has acted best to enhance what we call humanity? Today being on a religious day, sacred topics. That's the theme. And besides contributing to our topic, yule beshte yako alituambia tumsupport, ako wapi? That guy, he lost. He came for the first time and then he got lost. He no longer posted anything. I think he was not very determined. That's the reason why I was telling you yesterday, you must keep on moving on. People are coming for the first time, and then by the third time someone is just going away. From that day, I think he posted twice, and from that day onwards, I haven't even seen a post. I think the platform is not for the faint heart. If you are faint-hearted, then sidhani manze kama mtu anaweza na hii story, alikuwa tu anajaribu. Yeah, that's the thing. He was in the process of trying, but I think maybe he realized that things were not coming so very fast. Now that's the thing. So it's all about soldiering on, And then that was that guy. I'm also very scared about this guy we used to support each and every day. Why that? I don't know where he really went. That's another guy. He came and then he disappeared. Even today, I don't think he longer posted anything. I don't know what is not happening to guys. I also have friends who gave up. Yeah, people are giving up very fast. What is not yeah, they are giving up very fast. Wow, maybe they thought that the watch time was not going anywhere.
Charles.
Yes, Charles. Okay, thank you. So maybe Karen, they thought that their watch time was not getting any better, and then at the end of the day, maybe they probably gave up. I think maybe the industry does not require a faint-hearted guy. And one thing with this industry, the thing that I have maybe observed, you just see a successful story about a guy who is doing maybe YouTube and stuff, and then now you say it's now my time to go for it. People are making some moolah via the platform, and then in the process you just realize, oh, so you mean that the journey was so tough, then in the process you just say, I'm going to try something else. Let me not be so particular in trying this thing. That's the thing with this platform, and the problem that most as Africans we have, it's all about how can I say, it's all about reading the successful story, but we don't really want to understand and appreciate the journey. That's now the thing. People don't really want to appreciate and understand the journey. Yeah. Now that's where we go. That's where now we go wrong. It's always good to appreciate the journey. So Karen, if you are here, never give up, never give up, never give up. Let's keep on moving on. It may take years, but one day, one time, things are going to be, things are going to work. That's the thing. That's the thing. Wow, the first aspect of religion, is all about emphasis on daily devotion. This is where most religion emphasize on daily spiritual practices, like prayer and meditation to connect with God or to maintain what we call conscious awareness of their faith. And besides that, they also think that their religion, they are important. Uh, yeah, there we go. The others that really believe that their religion is very important because it observes on their weekend. It's a common practice for many religious people to attend church services, or what we call religious services, or to participate in the religious activity on days other than the weekend. It's very, very so. If yeah, so if it's on a weekend, then since you have this kind of a mentality that religion is all about the wicked thing, then there you go. So Kale, never give up. Never, never, never give up.
Oya.
Yes sir.
Yaje.
Kabisa.
Ulileta?
Na nikauza.
Hizi kwa umeuza haraka hivyo zote.
Nilikuwa na 3. Mimi nilikungojea last week yote sikukuona. Sasa akili ikasema labda ulijipanga.
Last week yote si uliniambia nikuje Thursday ndio sikukuja.
Si ndio hiyo?
Sawa.
Sasa tuseme aje kesho?
Wacha nione.
Sawa. Kwa kesho. Yes. Yeah, the region is also very important when you talk about the specific day significance. There are people that are very, very particular when it's on Sunday, or maybe it's a day There are so many religious days, or there are so many days that are linked to the religion. For example, during the Easter period, there are some people that are very, very particular on this day, you know, and they take the day to be very, very special to an extent that they cannot even do anything as long as they focus on their religion. And therefore there are those that take religion because each and every time maybe they tie their faith with their religion. They always believe that this is the best time and this is the special day to have that special moment with their religion. That's the thing. But for most of us, like for me, I always view my religion in terms of what we call the devotion, daily prayer and devotion. Because I believe that, each and every minute, each and every second, it's all about requiring God. That's the thing. It's all about requiring God. It's all about requiring God. So if you see someone probably talk about religion, it's good to understand their entire view about the religion. Is it all because of devotion? Is it all because of wicked observation, or is it because maybe a certain day within the course of the week marks a special day for them maybe to do what we call their religious practices? So in which category are you? Which is your main category? Is it about devotion? Is it about observation of the special day? Or is it because maybe you really want to observe your weekend? Because and I believe when we used to be in high school, religion was very, very important because to us, it was not all about maybe devotion. Most of us, especially when we used to be in high school, it was all about observing that we are moving from one week to another week. You know, that's how we really used to take religion. So each and every time we would go to church on Sunday, we used to call it Christian Union, and most of the students uh, they didn't really matter about what they were going to get maybe from the church, either from the CU or the CA, but what really mattered was all about the observation of a weekend. We'd always go to church, and then we would always have some stories and say, do you know what, guys? That week is gone, and now maybe we are entering into another week, and this is now we are entering into the exam week. Exam, or maybe we are entering into a week where we are supposed to go for our midterm, or we are entering into a week whereby maybe we are closing the school. So my high school perspective was more of all, it was in my terms of religion view, it was all about the observation of a weekend. You know, that's how I used to view my religion when I was in high school. Yeah. Uh, yeah, that's how I used to view it. I never view it more than that. Yes. Mm. So we always tended to view our religion in terms of the weekend. So we are observing this weekend. We are observing, this weekend we are going to another different weekend, and that's how we really used to take the entire thing. So guys, our topic is also very, very essential and very, very critical when you really want to understand, where we have the overlap between the region and what I'd call the government of the state. And our topic is very, very essential because we are asking between Between the religion and the state, which organ do you believe has done well to enhance what we call the social humanity? Yeah, which one has really contributed to enhance the social humanity? And some of the key aspects that are linked with the region to enhance on social, what we call the social humanity. It's all about creating a system whereby now we have what we call our moral ethics and foundation, our moral and ethical foundation. That's the thing. This is where we have our moral ethical foundation. That's one of the key ways in which religion contributes to our social humanity through it forming what we call moral and ethical foundation through provision of a moral framework, a moral framework that really promotes what we call compassion, justice, as well as charity. You know, so if your religion is not promoting what we call the moral compass or the ethical foundation, now you really need to consider that religion, because at the end of the day, it must give you that that moral foundation or that moral compass to ensure that you promote compassion, justice, as well as you can do charity within your society. The other critical aspect of the region to enhance on what we call the moral, uh, the social humanity is all about the issue of social services. You know, religion is very, very vital or very, very fundamental in ensuring that we have social services. This is where religious organizations, most of them, and this is how they should work. They should provide, extensive social services to ensure that critical assistance is really given within the society. I have seen some of the key religions trying maybe to uplift maybe those that are jobless, to give them maybe some capital to start their job, and others I mostly the older religion. We have the older and the new religion. The older churches, yeah, that should be the correct one. The older churches, I have always seen them given what we call the free medical services. Where you are always told, we are going to have a free camp, we are going to do the eye checkup, we are going to do cancer screening, we are going to do ABCD. So you find that for them to ensure that they keep on providing what we call the social humanity, those are some of the social services that they do. And we have some churches, like we have one in Kenya that really used to focus on social service, on taking the street children away from the street, giving them a home, and then in the process of giving them a home, they ensure that they nurture them so that those can be traced, they can be taken back to their parents. Hata unaweza inulia hapo juu huwa inatoshea hapo, siko sawa? Thank you. So like it was called Kuna Nuru Gizani, yeah, that was the thing. It was by Pastor Pius Mondo. I don't know if you guys know that church. Before now religion became more money minded and the stuff. Wow, that church, I always give it credit because it nurtured some of the street childrens, and today most of them, they always give testify, and they say that they say if it was not if it was not Kuna Nuru Gizani, then most of them would still be on the street. But the good thing that the church did was all about giving them a platform, to go back to school, to ensure that maybe they enhance on their talent, and some of them are gospel singers. That's the good thing. But nowadays, uh, the church is doing less and less and less and less of the social services. Even the free medical camp that the church used to give to their members each and every year, most of them are shelving off. I don't know why they are doing that. And but I have seen some other churches trying to renovate. At the end of the day, it's also very good to renovate and understanding that maybe the society needs and this and that. And nowadays they are really having this program, maybe to empower women, maybe to empower the youth, and they are empowering the youth in terms of giving them some education. Some of the church are even giving the youth what we call the free computer classes, because they have really understood that now we are living in another age that is technologically oriented, and once now they give them this kind of services, they can now be able to become better members of the society. In terms of disaster relief, wow, I think most of the churches really do this. And if your church does not do what we call the disaster relief, then I think you need to reconsider your church. Because one, anytime we have some hungry men, at the exterior of our country, like in Turkana, name them. Most of the churches, they really collect clothes. We really take those clothes that we cannot really use to the church, and maybe we also do some donations, in terms of food stuff and the stuff. And then at the end of the day, we take them for those guys to really benefit, you know from our support. Then the other thing that the church really does in terms of ensuring that we have the social humanity is all about the community building, because the community building is also a very, very instrumental component within our society. This is where most of the church focus on ensuring that we foster a sense of community, because we have grown understanding that when we pray together, when we come together, as Christians, or maybe as people sharing the same faith, then at the end of the day, we are trying to foster the community. And in the process, I have seen that also work. And one of the way that I have seen community building is the church offering what we call the crusades. The church, in as much as is trying to get a lot of people, to come and get saved, the church at the end of the day, it's really ensuring that it's creating purpose. People are able to understand the purpose of the church, and it really supports on what we call the social issues. Then social changes, social changes. This is another instrumental thing that is really done by the church to ensure that it fosters on what we call, you know, on what we call social humanity, and this one prevails through church being an advocate for civic rights. And I have really appreciated our church, or our region in our Kenyan community, because in as much as some of the church leaders are maybe going to the state house to hope for some money, maybe for this and that service, uh, we have some key churches that are really calling for what we call the integrity. You know, like today, I saw some members of the church coming together and really saying, "Do you know what? We really need to focus on ensuring that we, as the church, you know, in conjunction with the community, we come together, and in the process of coming together, we fight this monster that we are calling corruption." And I think it's a light dean for the church, because at the end of the day, If the church is able, if the church is able to ensure that it really calls for change, then I think the society is going to operate in a logical manner. So social change is also part of the church operation to ensure that we really get what we call the social humanity. Then the other thing, we have the historical preservation, but this one, in terms of in our society, I think it's not really there, you know, because they don't even give us about the history of how we are colonized, what and this and that. That one we are not there. That one, I think, in our churches, we are not there. However, the same churches really have really failed to promote the social humanity in different way, you know. And one of the key ways the church have really failed in promoting what we call the social humanity is always preparing what we call the conflict and violence. That's one thing, conflict and violence. This is where we have seen a lot of religious differences, and in the process of seeing all these religious conflict, we have always seen violence, and in some other cases, we have always seen a tug of war between the church and the church and the church and the state. And in the process, when the church is really promoting conflict and violence, and we have always viewed the church to be an instrumental component that really gives us the foundation of ensuring that we have hope, we have peace, then it's a war in trade. It's a war in trade, and therefore there is need for churches, or there is need for religion to ensure that we have a better way of resolving some of these issues. And then the other issue that the church has been linked with is all the issue of promoting what we call inequality. You know, there are some churches, like I know of a church, if you wear miniskirt, then you are told, this church does not promote, you know, in quotes, what we call maybe prostitution. Because you really wear miniskirt, and I think this is the worst form of inequality, because at the end of the day, I believe the key cause of the church is all about promoting what we call, social equality rather than inequality. So intolerance and inequality, I think in most African churches, this thing is there, you know, and inequality really comes in through most of the churches or most of the religion, trying to judge your background, you know, trying also to not really look at the inside of you, but really trying to judge you because maybe of what you have wore, in terms of the hair that you have. There are some guys who go in the church with the rasta and the stuff, and in the process, there is a lot of misjudgment. And in the process of this misjudgment, uh, then most of the people really say, if it's like this, that I'm being judged when I'm in the church, then why should I even be going to that church? You see, at the end of the day, it just promotes that type of, you know, that type of a conflict between those people outside the world and those people inside the church. So discrimination and inequality, I think, in African context, you know, the church is always on very high gear, you know, and it's high time the church appreciates not all church, but it's high time Most churches appreciate that we have some people and let them come the way they are. Even Jesus said at one point, let the children come the way they are. Because at the end of the day now, when we start misjudging people based on the way they have, dressed up, then I think that rift is being created by the church. And then the other issue is also the church has also been at the center of being involved in politics, you know. And in the process of the church being involved in a politics, then I think we have lost the moral compass of embarking on the issue of integrity, the issue of equality, and all that stuff. And this is real happening in our Kenyan nation, I have always heard people complain, corruption is always being propelled fast by the church. And I agree with them because at the end of the day, you don't expect a pastor or a bishop, to be always in the state house looking for some money in the name of saying, I am the bishop and I command maybe 2 million, 2 million people. So when you build us a church for us, then you can be assured of the 2 million votes. That's how most of our bishops and most of our pastors are operating, especially when they meet the political class. And therefore, in the process of them messing up in the politics and being part and parcel of the politics, now the church really gets lost in terms of bearing its real fruit. Because the real fruit of the church is all about calling for issues of corruption. But when it is at the center, of receiving money through this head, through that head, then at the end of the day it loses the moral compass. And I remember there was a case last year where our own president has visited a certain church, and in the process, the president said that I'm going to give you this amount of money. It was 20 million. It was a promise, but the promise could not even be delivered because people really got angry and they were really asking, why should the church just come for money, you know? And in terms of managing the politics, we always have a clear constitution that really outlines that the church and the state should have that separate power. But now when the church is at the center of everything, then in terms of the way our society operates, the church does not even speak. So that one is now where the church is really losing what we call its capability of enhancing what we call the social humanity. The same thing, now we come to the issue of the state. The state is also very, very essential in promoting what we call the universal rights and protection. This is where they create a framework, to protect the fundamental rights. For instance, in Kenya, we have our constitution. We call it the 2010 Constitution. This is one of the key documents that each and every Kenyan feel very proud of, because at the end of the day, each and every time you see us on the streets, we always say, you know what, guys, we are protected by the 2010 Constitution. The Bills of Right, the bill to picket, the bill of freedom of right, the freedom of expression, the freedom of religion. All of them, they are really given by the universal rights, and they are all attained under our new constitution, which is our 2010 Constitution. Then the state is also very, very important in ensuring that it promotes public goods and services. Yeah, this is where now the government, at the end of the day, emerges as an essential component of ensuring that it provide and maintain that essential services to improve the quality of all citizens. However, in our African context, I think this one is now the opposite. That public goods and services at affordable cost, then it is increasing everything through the taxes. Each and every time, we are always hearing, they are also drafting this bill. They have removed that bill, for maybe for the basic commodities. They have increased that tax. at the end of the day, I think in this one, I don't think we are promoting what we call the state humanity or the essential humanity. It should also promote what we call equality. This is where now the government at the end of the day, it should give policies that address the issue of inequality, alleviate poverty, and provide a social net safety. I think in terms of addressing inequality, let me say the past government have, yeah, Karen bado huko pia, mi niko I'm still here, Karen. I'm still here. I'm really here. Sijaenda, I'm still here. So you told me your guys get lost. Everyone really got lost. Everyone really got lost. Wow, that's so weird. People are getting lost because things are getting tough. You should encourage them if they were your friends to come back and do their thing. You should really encourage them. Should really encourage them. So the other issue is all about promotion of equality. This is where we provide what we call the social net safety. I think in terms of our government, we are not effective on that, but we are really trying to alleviate poverty. Even though poverty margin have really increased, but at the end of the day, the time we came up with what we call the 2010 constitution, in terms of ensuring now that we had the county levels, this really showed that we were very much prepared in ensuring the process of operating in the county level. This is where now we really wanted to devolve all the functions, or some of these functions, not all, but some of these functions, to the county levels. And I really love what is happening in some of the counties. I think work is really going on there, yeah. But some other counties is all about fight. People are fighting right, left, center for leadership, for power, and for money. Now in the process of that fight, we lose the entire thing. But for some counties, I think there are some counties that are really working to ensure that they alleviate poverty for their people. So I believe if our government is, let me attend. Okay, Karen. Okay, you can proceed. Go and attend to her. If we are very serious in ensuring that we alleviate poverty rates, I believe that since we have our 2020 constitution, we should empower more counties. We should empower counties in terms of giving them more resources, and in the process of giving them more resources, and assuming that we have some good leaders who are not really focusing on maybe stealing money, maybe fighting for power, and maybe fighting for leadership. I believe that if we really operationalize on our counties, then everything in terms of achieving what we call alleviation of poverty, I think our government in stabilizing our economy has okay, somewhere a lot of stories, but this one we leave it. This one we always leave it for the people on the ground to say what they feel. There are some people who really believe that maybe our economy, or maybe the economy, wherever they are, that is working. So this one we really leave to the people to have their sentiment and say maybe my economy is working. The others, things are not really working, and the others, things are not working, The others, they are just there Okay, the first class of people, the economy is doing very well, the economy is working and stuff. Then we have some other people who are just there, it's working, it's not working, it's on and off, that kind of on and off. And then the others, but some of the key areas of the state to promote what we call the social human rights or the social humanity is all about the oppression and the violation of human rights. This one in Kenya, I think this one we are acting as per, we call it per excellence, because the oppression and human rights oppressions, violations, I mean, they are very, very high, you know. Uh, ati ameumia wapi tena Karen? Wow, pole, ameumia wapi? Ame na ana meno, amejiuma or what not really happening? Oh, pole sana. I think observing little babies is always. Oh, mkubwa. I really thought ni yako kadogo. I could have been very, very shocked. I could have been very, very shocked. Mkubwa, maybe unaweza mpaka kakitu hivi uone kama huyo mkubwa at least lakini sasa watoto ni wale wale pia, yeye atalia sababu ameumia. Wow, pole sana, pole sana. Very, very sorry for that. So the first thing is all oppression and human rights violation. And I think this one in Kenya, we are really doing it like in a very long manner, at a very high speed. I always hear leo anapona, kesho tena ako na kidonda ingine. Kwani kamejiuma? Amejiuma Kalen? Ama kameaguka ama ni kujiuma? Wow, that's so tricky. That's very, very tricky. That's very, very. Wow, so sorry about. Oh, pole. Yeah, that one might be very, very painful. That one might be very, very. Can you try some? You give him some water, some warm water, hii ya chumvi, so that he can gargle, and then you see kama itanini tapugua. He has a lot of bruises. Yeah, boys growing up, I think that's a common thing. Growing up, ameenda huku, ameaguka, amefanya. Try to give him some warm water yenye iko na chumvi, then you tell him to gargle. Yeah. That should be the way. Just try and warm some water, then weke kachumvi, then tell him to gargle. Guys, that's how you handle small kids, especially maybe kama it's always very, very tricky, to do something else, and then you have a kid, you just feel, oh, ashaguka, I remember like there was a time when I was young, you know, and my sister, because she had two kids, she would always leave me with the kids. And because I was not very concentrating with them, her firstborn would always fall from the seat, you know, from the sofa set. And you know, during those days it is bare concrete and iko hapa chini, then tunasikia ko, and then she would always question me, I told you to look after the kid, but now you are not doing anything and you are not concentrating, what's up with you? And that child would like fall twice a day when I'm with her. Today she is a grown up lady, and she always appreciate very much because I really took care of her when she was very young. So kids, I know how fragile they are. Back to school, I would always miss those moments. And when I cross the school, my sister would always say, I really need to go with this one so that he can be looking after my daughter. And then that thing always used to motivate me a lot to close the school early so that I would go and look after my sister's daughter. But at the end of the day, she would always fall, and my sister would always get very angry. But the good thing, she is a grown-up person, you know, a person who is, I think, yeah, a person who is just completing her college this year. Wow, people come from far. So guys, one of the key things is all about the violation of human rights. And human rights violation, I think in Kenya we are doing it at a very fast rate. You know, killing civil, you know, killing civil, what do they call them? Savists, you know, those civil guys, you know. We are killing them each and every day because they are really trying to expose what is maybe the government that does not really want us to understand. And I think in Kenya we have really violated what we call human rights. This one is a for a fact. You know, we have really violated human rights, which is such a very bad thing. The other thing is all about bureaucracy, creating bureaucracy and inefficiency. Very true. This is where we fail to meet the needs of the citizen. You know, we create a lot of inefficiencies, you know. For instance, I'm always very, you know, angered by how the state has always been creating a lot of systems, you know, like this administration comes with this system, and then once they leave the office, the next administration comes with another system. And you know, in the process of creating these systems, they do a lot of things. You know, they mess up with a lot of things, be it data, be it the way maybe people really knew how it was operating. They really messes up with everything, and therefore creating a lot of inefficiencies. I think we are also pro in doing that. You know, we are creating, like for now we have created another thing that we are called richer. You know, when you talk to majority of the people, they are really saying we wish you would have like streamlined what used to be there, you know, in the past. But who are we? You know, we are just normal citizens. We just each and every time a new administration is in power, it just comes up with its own system, and you know, in the process, it really creates what we call a lot of backlogs. You know, backlogs, the system are not working, the systems have failed. And you know, these are very important systems. You know, like when you talk about the SHA, this is Social Healthcare Authority system. You know, the system is very essential because it's really talking about the issue of health, you know. And you cannot mess with the health system, you know. But each and every government is coming up with its own system, and in the process, who suffers the most is the common citizen. That's now where we create a lot of inconsistencies, and a lot of bureaucracy. This thing is happening in our government offices. You go to our office, and instead of appreciating that time has really gone, and maybe we need we need to reorganize, in terms of the staff and in terms of the workmanship. We really want to rely on those old folks, even to do some of us, to do some of these key jobs, like the technology oriented jobs. We don't really want to give it to the younger generation, but we really want to rely on the old folks for them to do even jobs that they cannot be able to maneuver. Now, in the process, we create a lot of backlog, and that's where now we create what we call inefficiencies. And I think this is a tendency for each and every government. The other issue is all about creating what we call the excess power. Yeah, this is another thing that we have always experienced, creating what we call the excess power. This is where some government use their power to oppress those that maybe talk about freedom, and they live, yeah, they just live their life at the highest level at the expense of the common man. I think this one is for each and every African nation, you know. Africa, I think Africa, we are really having some issues in most of these systems, because at the end of the day, each and every person just comes on the ground and says, I need your vote for this and that. Process, and the moment they enter into that office, the first and their utmost goal is all about creating power and systems that they are going to protect them for life. Yeah, so they can do even a very very high scandal, very very mega scandal, as a way of ensuring that they protect their power. Others, they really like take a lot of resources, take a lot of public resources, they misuse them at the expense of that common man. And in the process, everything is just there. you know the common man gets lesser and lesser and lesser and more oppressed. That's the thing. you know then finally, we have what we call the suppression of religion. The suppression of religion, this is where some of the government institutions can infringe upon the religion freedom. you know this is where most of them are linked to infiltrate in terms of religion and how a religion operates. So in the process of infiltrating on how religion operates, the region absorbs most of it, obligation at the expense. At the expense of the state. And in the process of religion, abandoning some its core goals, then the religion, now the ruling class, or what we call the state, is now able to operate just the way it really loves, or just the way it really likes, at the expense of the religion. So guys, our topic today was very very essential and very very critical, because we really wanted to understand, between the region and the church, who has really enhanced on what we call the social humanity. So based on the points that I have raised, it's upon you guys to really understand who between the two, is it the church, is it religion, who has done it the best. you know can you really rely on the church for you to achieve what we call the social humanity? Or can you really rely on the region to attain what we call the social humanity? The moment now you appreciate that, now it becomes even easier to understand on how everything operates. So guys, let me know your view. Is it the region or is it the church that has really enabled you to fancy Dami and coffee? So guys, let me know your choice. Why do you observe your religion so much? Is it because it emphasizes on daily devotion?
Hiyo betri ni kama imededi kabisa. Kulingana na vile
read sulfate. Kwa sana kabisa.
Kuna testa?
Testa mimi nimemaliza hadi kesho. Ni mzai anataka ama? Si nimsaidie yangu atumie alafu mtanirudishia. Mwambie nimemaliza hadi kesho. Taweza kurudi huku? Kama ifanye haiko sawa. Reacting with lead oxide and sulfuric acid, so you get lead sulfate and water.
You're my brother.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys.
Oh, zile susu. Wazafungua.
Thank you guys. Thank you for joining. Resides in the image.
Wanafungua. Geti ni kufungwa, ilikuwa inafungwa. Nafanya aje? Buka kwa wakati nilitengeneza tumezingia. Kama unaona hapo jua jusa za kutoa hapa na masia kuja kutoa.
Wow, guys, finally we have come to the end of our live today. Thank you guys for always contributing to our daily topics. So today we had a very, very critical topic, as well as our quiz, or what we call our poll. So guys, thank you so much for voting. As per now, we have emphasis on daily devotion being 100%, marks observation or wicked being 0%, and offering special significant souls being 0%. Let's meet tomorrow, guys, same place, same time, and may God bless you. Thank you.